Living in Appalachia is rough. We deal with violence, gun violence, assault, sexual assault, and rape. And these are things that may be talked about within our podcast. And we just want to let you know, viewer and listener discretion is advised. We live in some of the oldest mountains in the world.
Stolen land, stolen again to create the extraction state.
We are real people talking about real things in a real way.
This is Appalachian Living.
Hello.
Hi.
This is okay. Elise is not here. Okay, and
Love you, girl.
Let me turn my mic up.
We're getting it.
Hello. Can you hear me? I feel like you can't hear me. My mic.
I hear you really good just now.
Hello. Why do I hear like I sound like okay?
There you go.
There I am.
There you are.
There you are.
There we are. We're out here.
This is my cousin Danielle. She come in for like less than 24 hours.
I know. Not enough time.
No, not enough. But we are here still set up. And I hope this sounds right because I hear an echo pretty bad. So I'm just going to...
You know what to do. I have no idea.
I really don't. Tom is my producer and Tom is not here today.
We're just going to wing it. Winging a prayer. Give me a little wing.
A little wing.
Little chicken wing.
Little chicken wing. So Danielle lives in North Carolina.
The big NC.
Oh my God. Why do I feel like I'm being really loud when I do this? Do I sound okay?
Yeah, but I feel like there's an echo when I talk. Is there an echo? I don't know.
Okay, hang on. Okay, now you.
Testing. Okay.
That's you.
That's the sweet spot.
You're number one. I'm number two. I was like, what is going on here? Okay. Okay, we're good. I think we're good.
Okay.
Welcome.
We're on the up and up. I love being here.
Yeah.
Podcast life.
This is the first time you've been here in my house.
It is.
But you've been to this land many, many times.
It's home.
It is home.
It's crazy.
Doesn't it feel like home?
It does feel like home.
And this land is, like I said, I'm trying to like preserve it for our family because as we think back, 4 generations of our family has played in that same creek that we went to yesterday.
It's wild. It's wild. And it's crazy that no matter, they say home is where the heart is. And it's amazing that you can not be somewhere.
Yeah.
But part of your heart is there.
Oh, for sure.
It's wild. Mm-hmm. It's wild. And like this whole place holds value on such a different level. Like to know that this is our people's land. Mm-hmm. You know that song like, this land is your land. This land is my land. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what it is though. And it definitely feels like home. But more than that, the people. They say home is not a place. The people.
We've talked about this on this podcast, and Elise kind of brought this out on me because I left and I moved to North Carolina when I was younger, and then I also moved to Florida. In the late 80s, early 90s, our families, you were a baby, and we went through those pictures last night of you. You, like I said, you were the first baby. You were. Let me make sure. Hello. You were the first baby.
Yeah.
That. I held, and I was, I guess, old enough to kind of hold, but they didn't trust me.
Right.
They did not trust me.
They were so lame about it.
They were. But, like, I don't know, you were like my little sister that I never had because I was the baby there until you came along.
Yeah.
And unlike some other people in our family, when the baby come along, I was like, oh, baby. When I came along, all the boys were like, ugh.
We had this conversation earlier with your mom.
They was a whole, well, Eileen had 3 boys and my mom had 2, and Girlie had 1. And so there was a bunch of boys.
Yeah.
And then when they called and said I was a girl and all the boys were there, because I guess Gene, your papa was watching all the boys, and he told us I was a girl. And they were like, boo.
think they knew what to do with you.
They really didn't.
No.
They did not know what to do with me.
And that's
very
what
true.
I told Oli earlier. I said, I'm sure that Lindsay's whole life she heard, it's just because she's a girl. She's spoiled. She's the baby.
Yeah. Well,
But-
I was the baby.
You were. And you were the only girl.
I was the only girl. I had
Special.
Stacy,
Yeah.
but they moved away sooner than we did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved to North Carolina for a little bit, and then we moved back, and
Yeah.
y'all stayed.
Yep.
And so you were a part of my life for your first, 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved up here
Yeah.
and we kind of lost touch. And
Yeah.
now, social media, one of the good things about social media is that you can keep in touch with
is.
the family that you have. Especially when you have such a large family.
Yeah. But we got so close on social media too.
No, we did.
We did. And then seeing you at Twin Falls and just talking. And I don't know, like I told Remy, we would come in, my mom would bring us in. And I told you years ago, I looked up at you and you were the cool cousin.
And you saw
And you-
those weird pictures of me. I was like, Danielle says, "Oh, I looked up to you. You were so cool." And then here's me as a nerd.
That's so cool.
And my mom's like, "What a nerd."
You couldn't tell me nothing. That's what I told Remy. I'm like, Lindsay would zoom in and out, like going wherever. And you would spend time with us, but we were only usually here like a weekend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you would zoom in and out, and it was just these curly locks, and you were just so cool, and you were so pretty, and like your bedroom had New Kids on the Block everywhere, and I was just like, I want to be like her when I get older. I can't wait to be like her. And then I told Remy about the Lego thing up in the closet, and then what do? We see the pictures, and I'm like, oh my, that's my childhood
That's those
staple.
Legos.
There they are. And then I actually brought it up to Aunt Oli this morning. Don't tell Mom the babysitter's dead. I
Yeah.
cannot watch it without thinking about y'all.
Were we talking about that yesterday?
No, I think you and her talked about it before we got here. That's what she said.
Okay.
That y'all talked about it. And
Well,
I was like, that was our movie.
I was trying to put the gif up of, I'm right on top of that, Rose.
And I love that people have no idea what that movie is. I'm like, where were you raised?
I watched that movie like 3 times in a row.
Yeah. We probably killed you with it. Because, like, every time we come in, we're like, what can we watch? Don't tell Mom.
No, I watched it like 3 times in a row when you guys were not there.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't y'all.
We love it.
I probably forced y'all to watch it.
I mean, it became our thing. And every time we came in, we're like, can we watch Don't Tell Mom? And Ollie would go in there and put it on,
I'm right on top of that, Rose.
Right on top of that Metallica breath. What an insult to somebody.
The dishes are done, man. We still say that.
Then he goes on to be in Adventures in Babysitting.
I love that movie too.
I do too.
I watched that movie.
She was so ahead of her time.
Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah. Love her.
Did you ever see the movie Soap Dish?
No.
With Elizabeth Shue, Sally Field,
Love Sally.
the dude that plays Iron Man.
Who plays Iron Man?
Remy, who plays Iron Man?
Google it.
Oh, God.
Research it.
No, everybody knows
Who
him.
plays
Oh, my
Iron
God, I
Man?
love him.
Iron Man? I don't really do superhero movies too much.
Robert Downey,
Downey
Jr.
Jr. Oh, yeah.
Right?
He has a story. I love his story.
Right. Love Robert Downey Jr.
I do too.
But it's a movie called Soap Dish, and Sally Field is in it.
I love Sally.
Oh my God, it's so funny. And Tom has never seen it.
I've never seen it.
It is hilarious.
Is it an 80s? Early
Yes.
90s?
Yes.
I'm going to have to look this up.
They are soap opera stars,
Okay.
Sally Field, and I can't remember the guy's name that plays like her love interest, and Elizabeth Shue is like her niece.
I'm going to have to watch this
You have to watch.
because I love her.
It's hilarious.
And I love Sally Field. Movie from Sally Field that tormented me and I cannot watch to this day. Is it An Eye for an Eye? Oh my God. Thriller. Kiefer Sutherland. And she is on the phone in gridlock traffic and hears her daughter being...
Sally
Yeah.
Field is like one of the best actresses ever.
But that movie tormented me for years. And so, yeah, it's good. I think it's An Eye for an Eye. I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at Remy like she knows. Like
Remy's
she
like,
doesn't know.
I don't know.
She doesn't know.
Yeah, but she's supposed to be looking it up.
Yeah,
She's
you're
a
supposed
producer,
to be our person.
right? She's
Yeah.
like, what? What?
I think she's like, I'm putting lip gloss on. I'm cute over here.
She is. She's. Oh, I love her.
Cute. Look, she has a better skincare routine than me. This child was like, Ulta. I'm like, girl, I'll buy my foundation from Dollar General. What are you talking about?
I don't wear it. I quit wearing it.
Skin. My skin. I've got a dermatology rabbit hole I'm in right now with the dermatologist. I don't know what happened. Is it premenopause? Maybe.
It could be.
Face is jacked up. I've never had face problems, and at night it was looking like I had a
Stress?
burn rash. That's what initially I thought.
Stress is part of it because it's hormonal.
Very.
So your stress will cause your hormones to go up, and then it will cause your face to break out.
So I also did. It started out with like a dry patch on my skin, and then it went up. And at first I was like, okay, not rosacea. I'm Google, so I'm like looking it up, you know. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell my OB, let's do a hormone test. They refused. They're like, you're too young. I'm like, what a scam.
Girl, I had a cancer that was driven by hormones, and I asked them to do a hormonal test, and they said, we normally don't do that.
Like, what's the problem?
Could you not see if the meds that you're giving me to block all my hormones is actually working?
Right. Because hormones will make you, as a woman, if your hormones are not right, you will go off the deep end.
Girl, I have none. None. Elise asked me what my secret was, and I said, get rid of the hormones.
Right.
Get rid of the hormones, because I'm still emotional, right? But it's not over every little thing.
Yeah.
There have been times in my life where I would just cry over nothing.
Yeah.
But now it's like, usually I cry after a hard day, and then,
Right.
you know, I got to decompress or whatever. But it's not like I'm so sad.
Yeah. Now, I will say, for me, antidepressants help that.
Yeah.
Because I was so overly emotional. But it was the trauma. You know, some of it may have been hormonal, but when you come out of the trauma and your part of you dies, and the part of you that chooses to heal, because it's a choice.
Well, all of that affected your hormones.
Mm-hmm. It did.
So it's all connected.
It's all
It is
interwoven.
all connected.
And
I can't feel like I get my mic right. I don't know. I sound awful. I hate the way I sound.
awful. I have an Arkansas.
Ruby's like, you're good.
Are we good? I have an Arkansas accent, apparently. I feel like I need to enunciate. I try to enunciate, but
Arkansas
I talk so fast.
is half West Virginia, half North Carolina. That's what it is.
I want a Cajun accent. I can't understand anything they
I
say.
love a Cajun accent.
I love it. But I'm like, I can't understand anything you're saying. Nothing. So I'm just like, can you repeat that?
You got to get used to it.
Or you just shake your head. You just always, yeah.
Yep.
Or hit them with a, that's crazy.
No way.
That's crazy. So yeah, I don't know. The accent, I don't know. And I hate hearing myself talk. I've done so many live videos. And after I'm like, ugh. But whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's my voice. I at least have a voice.
You are the one that got me out of my box, though. You really were, because you were out there just chatting. And then you and Amber, she did a little bit. I know she's like, I don't like it. She was like me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I kind of forced myself to do it. But Tom has always been out in the, you know, broadcast world.
Right.
And I've had to like do different college projects where I was in, you know, movies or whatever.
Yeah.
We worked for a production company, so, you know, we do random things. But I hate the sound of my voice. I've always hated the sound of my voice. And I never thought in a million years I would ever be doing anything like this. And even when I was like, we were talking about doing it, I was like, why would I do a podcast? Nobody listens to podcasts.
Right. They do.
Apparently they do.
Yeah. They
Apparently they do. You are gorgeous.
do. Look at that hair.
Look at it. Is it that new curling stuff you like?
80s style. We're going to have to get you some of that. It's really pretty.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, and I think for me, it was just sharing. Now, I will say I didn't have any kind of background other than ministry. Watching my papa.
Well, that helps.
Because he was not scared to ever
Public
talk.
speaking is public speaking, no matter, where you do it. And some people could call whatever we do a ministry in some
Absolutely.
ways, because we are trying to get out knowledge that is being lost.
It is.
You
And
know?
knowledge is power.
And I was going to ask, Remy if she knew, and you might know, because we were going to go to the Miners Memorial. That was like the whole reason that you guys were going to come up here, to see it, because we had found Papa's name on the thing and the story and all that. But Aunt Eileen's not doing so well.
Yeah.
And so her and Mom are just, they're sisters, and they're going to have their time together, and that's wonderful. But I forgot where I was going. See, this is the problem, because I start talking and then I'm like,
I love it.
what was I
Because
talking about?
I'm like squirrel. Like, yeah, I do it.
Yeah, me too, Rick.
It's Saturday. This
Dude.
is chill day.
I know. And it's funny, Tom's out doing a podcast somewhere else. Like, who are we?
Y'all are podcasters. I'm here for it all day.
Look, you can come here anytime.
I'm saying.
Anytime.
About to be on like nobody's business.
Please?
For sure. Because, like, what do you want to talk about? I have opinions.
Girl.
I have opinions.
Say it.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, the world spins no matter what I think.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that are actually like-minded, and you just have to be an open-minded person. That is where I see such a difference in the life I live in my corner of the world. I choose to be open-minded, but I also accept that not everybody is. And then I have to just accept how much I deal with them. It ain't no love lost. But if we're not like-minded, I don't need to be around you.
Yeah.
It's
Why
no
do you
love
want to be
lost.
around me if we're not like-minded?
And I've been told my whole life, you're not going to be for everybody, and everybody's not going to be for you. But when you finally learn that lesson, it hurts. It hurts. And I'm trying to teach her at 10. You're not going to be for everybody, and that's okay.
Yeah. Don't try to change yourself to make somebody else like you. Because as soon as you do that, then someone else isn't going to like you. So,
And you don't like yourself.
Exactly.
You don't like yourself.
To start liking who you are, realizing who you are, and speak up about who you are.
And bro, I embrace my weirdness. Like, I don't
It's
even know how
wonderful.
to, I'm here for it.
I think you're beautiful.
My favorite saying, Danny DeVito is my spirit animal. But my favorite saying that he has is, I don't know how much more time I have on this earth, and I'm going to get real weird with it.
Let's do it.
And that is that's what I'm standing on now. Like, I used to be weird about certain things, or like, oh, what are those people that I will cry in my car on the interstate, stopped in traffic, and just people look at me and I'm like, so you get it. You get it. But I also have dance parties.
Right.
And people look at me the same way, and I'm like, bro, I'm just living my life.
Everybody has every kind of emotion possible. You can't say that you don't feel anger or fear or jealousy or greed or it's all human
in us.
emotion, and it's what you do with it. So if you have fear, that's cool. But if you take that fear and you just grasp onto it. You press play. You got the remote. Stand by.
Hold, please.
Oh, please.
We're holding.
Hey, Remy. Why don't you go press play? Or where's the remote?
I think you just hit play. It looks like it just started.
Stand by.
Oh,
His
please.
ears are... Remy, you want Remy on here?
Remy, do you want to say hi?
Do you want to play?
Let's do it.
Do it! Here, you do it then.
Hey.
Yeah, don't pull the cord. Okay, take a seat.
I hear you.
Can you hear Mommy?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about West Virginia so far?
Love it.
Do you?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part been so far?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Your favorite part since we've been here?
Looking at the creek.
The creek?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a creek, not a river.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
It's crazy because, like, your papa used to play out there when he was little. Like, barefoot in the creek. That's wild, isn't it?
It is.
This is where our people's from.
Yeah.
And, we're not here now, but we can definitely come visit.
We're going to come here every single month.
Girl, a 4-hour drive. They're working on the interstate. When they get their ramp straight in here, it'll be easier.
Yeah, and it won't take us long.
It'll probably take, I don't know. It might not. But it's good to be here.
I don't care for the ride. Like, I love the ride because I get to listen to my music. So I'm okay with that.
You're not driving.
I know.
You're not having to pay attention.
That's the best part.
Wait till you start driving. I'm going to make you drive.
No, you're not. I'm not going to drive.
Why?
I mean, I am going to drive. I already have, like, what car I want to drive. Like, I already have.
What job are you going to have to pay for that car?
I was thinking,
Who's going to just hand you a car?
I mean, I would think for, like, my 16th birthday.
Oh, you would think.
Like, my first car. I don't want nothing fancy for my first car.
You're getting a Honda.
Okay. That's not bad. I mean, I can still decorate
Hondas
it.
go forever.
They do.
If I'm paying for you a car, you're going to be happy. And you getting a job at Chick-fil-A to pay for your insurance.
I can do that. I can work with Adam. I can be at Food Line.
You can be at Food Line. You can be at Food Line. That's cool.
Or Walmart. I don't know about
Not Walmart. You can go to Food Line. Or Chick-fil-A.
I mean, Walmart's easy because all they do is just stand around by the registers.
They do. Oh, yeah. They do self-checkout.
Yeah.
Do you see how we get on Walmart conversations?
Of all the things in the world to talk about,
we've went downhill here.
I'm coming back.
Lindsay's getting set up over there.
Exactly.
We're gonna leave here in a little bit, okay?
I love you.
I love you.
You're beautiful. Are you nervous?
I am.
I know. I don't know when this happened.
I hear myself. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Pete, you.
That's why I don't like running this thing, because I just don't feel like I can hear myself properly.
Yeah.
And Tom's usually running this, and then I'm like, am I too loud? And then
See, I don't know. I feel like I'm whispering.
you kind of are.
Okay. Sensual style.
What?
Sensual style.
Give me them nails.
Dolly Parton style. Love Dolly.
I'm totally turning that into a TikTok. Waterfall.
I do that with the kids, like with the babies. I take my fingernails and I do the itsy bitsy spider, and like tickle them, and then I just bring it down.
their back.
Yeah. The baby loves it. She's here for it. Yeah, auntie life is fun. I recommend being an aunt over being a parent.
Yeah, me too.
No offense, Remy, I love you so much.
Yeah.
But there's a reason I only have one. Because auntie life is super fun.
Well, yeah, you can play with them and then be like, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Bye.
And you can make them mean.
Yeah.
Like before.
And then mom's got to deal with it.
Yeah.
I bet Amber don't like that too much.
She was like, why? So, little fun story. When I moved in with them, I had to work night shift. And, I'm displaced. I'm not in my own home. I'm on the couch. Harley would stay up with me at night. And she's like 3.
That's why you and Harley are so close.
We vibe. Yeah. Princess and the Frog is our jam. It's our movie.
She was a baby when you were there and you needed that comfort.
So much.
And
she stayed up with me, and she would night shift with me, and she went in the bedroom to get something. It's probably 2 a.m, and she waddles her little self in there to get something and woke Amber up. Amber was like, go to bed, and Harley come in there, and she's crying. I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, my mommy told me to go to bed. And she got up on the couch with me, and I said, you know what we're going to call her? Butt crack. So for like 3 months, she walked around the house and was like, calm down, butt crack. And Amber was like, why? Why would you do this to me? Like, it was never, thanks, Mom. It's thanks, butt crack. Or way to be a butt crack. And so occasionally I bring it back to Amber's remembrance. I'm like, don't act like a butt crack. And Harley gets the biggest kick out of it. But yes, I did stuff like that. But Harley, she was different. Like, she was built so different. She was like little dresses and like rain boots, red mud all over her, wouldn't brush her hair. And Papa pulls up the hill one day, and Harley went through a cussing phase. Like, she was just hardcore cussing. And so she's out there yelling at a cat, and she's cussing it, and it was a stray cat, and she's just yelling. And I'm telling her, stop cussing, stop it. Well, Papa comes up the hill, and he's like, why are you yelling at that baby? I said, because she's cussing. And he walks over there, and I said, Harley, get over here. And she crossed her arms and very animatedly and dead in his face he said, you're not cussing, are you? She said, look, Pops, I like to cuss. And I'm going to cuss. And I'm a cusser. So the following week, we go to church, and she wants to get up
Look,
there.
Pops.
And he doesn't know what to say. He's like, well, okay. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. She did not care. The following week, we go to church. She gets up there. She's going to sing This Little Light of Mine. And she goes on and on. But Papa looks at me, and he's like, make sure she don't get up there and cuss. And so she sings and sings, well, to the point where we're all like, yay.
Yay,
And wrap it up. And my sister, Amber, takes the mic from her, and Harley grabs it and throws it down and runs off the stage crying. And that was actually my papa's last church service. And it was just the sweetest thing, because she's up there singing and crazy ever since he's passed. She doesn't cuss anymore. She got saved. And she's trying to live right. And she's trying to live right. And if any of us would curse, she would stop us and say sorry to Jesus. And I was like, who would have known that she'd get her life together after Pops left? Like, she is
How old is she now?
She is 7 now. She's wild. She got it together really early. She figured it out.
This girl.
She said, I've had enough of this life. And then, she's
gonna be something. I'm telling you.
She is definitely a lot of fun. She gave me a lot of love that I didn't even realize I needed.
Mm-hmm.
So she's awesome. But just seeing that side and loving my sister so much. Like, people have always been like, you and your sister, we're only 14 months apart. You know, but I was always very protective of her and this and that. And man, when she came up pregnant with the first one, Presley, I was like, my life changed. Because I'm like, oh my God, this is changing our whole family.
Yeah.
And
It's a whole new era.
It's a whole new generation. And then you don't really realize how much I didn't realize how much I really loved my sister until I started watching her body change and I'm like, are you eating? Are you,
taking care of her?
And then I've been there to watch all 3 of them be born, and it's just, I don't know. It's different. Like, I love my one. But, it's like the grandparents thing. You raise your kids, you have to stress, worry, financially, discipline.
You got to do the unfun stuff.
Right. And with my nieces, I'm just like,
the fun stuff.
This is cool.
Yeah.
That's fine. And they know, like, Presley will text me. I'm like, I love you. And she's like, I'm going to stand behind you, Dee. Like, they changed my name from Dee Dee to Dee. And I was like, what is this about? She was like, well, I'm getting older.
You're Dee.
I'm like, they call Mama Gigi for great grandma.
Now she's going to be G.
She's G. And I'm like, that's the truest name I've ever heard.
Well,
Eileen is a G.
Y'all don't even know.
No idea.
My Aunt Eileen is
The epitome.
Now
of a
they
G.
say when you look at Eileen, that is my mama.
Yeah. I've
And
heard
her
it.
personality was mama.
Yeah.
And that's where we get it.
Yeah.
That fire, that little fiery. Aunt Eileen is like, how tall is she?
I swear she's 4'8".
But
I swear.
you walk into a building that she's raising some hell in, and she sounds like she's 6'5".
Yeah. She ain't scared. She ain't backing down.
No. Not
Yeah.
at all.
I will take her to war any day.
Absolutely.
In
And
the
I
trenches.
keep her on my side. Okay?
Don't go against the
I
family.
ain't going against her. No.
And I feel like I have a mob mentality. Mob life. I told Fred the other day, I said I should have been born in like the Gambino or Gotti family, because loyalty is so like etched in me. And I'm just like, don't go against the family. Why would you do this to the family?
But again, like we were talking about,
You
we
can't
got a lot
uphold
of
wrong.
blood out here. Mm-hmm. And if, I don't care who you are, if you're one not doing what I feel like, that you don't hold the same values as me. And we can't agree, and you're constantly disrespectful. I don't care if we share the same DNA. Bye.
And it's a sad fact that family values, you can't tell me that 50 years ago everybody agreed with everything. They didn't.
They didn't. They just kept it under the rug.
And I think they dealt with each other in smaller doses. We have social media now. So the good part of being connected in states.
But they were in closer quarters. Like,
They were.
we were always together. Like I said, we would go up Aunt Eileen's house every single day. Now, granted, we were there for a few hours a day and we go
Right.
home. But when you're in person, you're not. You won't say those things to someone's face. You won't do that.
That's the downside to social media.
Yeah.
People are way entirely too comfortable. And like I said, I don't think I'm any better or worse than anybody for my stances and my opinions. I read a beautiful thing the other day, and it said, while I can appreciate your perception, you cannot take away from my experience.
Exactly.
I can respect that we differ, but you cannot take away from how I feel or what I've lived. I see that a lot too, like in racially driven things that happen in this world. You can feel how you want, and right is right and wrong is wrong. And we all have our different definitions of right and wrong, but we've gotten so far away from the basic of right and wrong. And if people were really educated, if they would educate, I educated myself on Jim Crow laws. I educated myself, and not to even like get super deep, but being in the South, I have heard stories. I know people, and people that I love dearly that have been severely mistreated because of the color of their skin.
Right.
And I refuse to ever sit idly by, because when you are silent, you're also a co-conspirator.
Silence is violence.
Silence is violence.
That's my new fun phrase. Fun phrase. That's my new favorite phrase.
fun phrase.
Fun phrase. Silence is violence.
Trademark. Keep it light. We're keeping it light.
Yeah,
but keeping
silence
it
is
violent.
violence. Light.
Trademark. Yeah, so, and it's true. Like, you can think things and say things a little easier when you haven't experienced it. And so I tell myself, like, I can understand where you come from. I can be open-minded, but I also know our experiences aren't the same. We can watch the same thing happen. I've told so many people this. We can watch the exact same thing, a car accident. Where you're standing and where I'm standing is a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 degrees off. We're going to see it differently.
It's all different.
We're going to see it differently. And then you have the way that, you know, we filter things. We filter things differently because childhoods, our home lives, healthy and unhealthy relationships
How
we've
you
had.
process that information that's coming in, whether or not you remember it, how you remember it, how much you remember of it. And if you get, because it's been proven, if you get however many witnesses together, they're all going to say something different.
Absolutely.
Everybody's perception is different. And that's why we always say, hey, just be yourself, because the way people perceive you is on them. It's not on you. Because I'll have people perceive me as thinking, all she is a mouth. She's just sitting on her ass. She's not doing anything but speaking into a microphone.
Yep.
But they have no idea the things that I'm actually doing,
Yep.
right? And the Zoom calls that I'm in, the text messages that I'm in, and the things that I have planning behind the scenes, and that people come to me and I'm like, okay, let's just toss it over to them and they'll take care of it.
Right.
Because I'm not the person that wants to be up in I ain't got time for that.
Right. Right.
You see the things that I have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, you have a life.
I ain't got time to be the one up in the spot. I don't want to be in the spotlight.
Right.
But I have the capabilities to make this platform for people to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And let's have a conversation.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And that's one thing that I was so pissed about, Shane,
yeah.
is that I understand that you feel differently and think things differently than me. I'm willing to have a conversation.
Right.
But I'm not willing to keep up with your disrespect.
Right. There's a nice way
Yeah.
to have a conversation.
Yeah.
There's a decent, and I think that's for me, there's a level of respect. So I used to be like, you know, we have to have a mutual respect. You used to hear the saying a lot, like, you have to show respect to get respect. And I'm in such a phase of my life where I've lived and learned. I have to remind myself I don't owe anybody anything. And most of the time, trauma survivors deal with feeling this guilt,
Right.
like they owe people something.
Exactly.
And I heard a girl say, well, you owe people kindness. Actually, I don't.
Not
I
really.
don't owe anybody anything. I choose.
You
I
don't
choose
owe
to be.
everybody kindness. Here's the way I think. So, if I've never met you, and I don't know anything about you, I feel like I owe you some kindness.
Mm-hmm. You're a
Because
stranger.
You're a stranger. I don't know you yet.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you are a family member that I have known since the day I was born,
Mm-hmm.
and situations throughout our entire lives have shown me how you really feel about me.
Mm-hmm.
Your words say one thing, your actions say something else. I'm
Yeah.
going on your actions.
Always.
And then when I say, hey, these actions are not really cool, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you double down. That is when I become the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And I will absolutely give you what you give me.
Yeah.
So once I feel that, I'm like, all right, how's it feel?
See, and I wish that I could get there.
I am 44 years old.
Yeah.
It's taken a long time, and this has just been in the past few years. And I honestly think the lack of estrogen has something to do with
Yeah.
it, because estrogen gives you this empathy. It gives you this feeling of having to take care of people, of feeling like you owe everybody everything of you,
Yeah.
and you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. There are days when, I mean, even my own son and my own father and mother, and I give and I give and I give. And there are days when I'm like, look, someone else is going to have to take, because I got to give myself something. And
Self-preservation.
yeah. And but I'm lucky to have, a husband that helps. Mom helps when she can, but she's taking care of Dad now.
Right.
And so, we have two people that we have to care for here. And there's three of us that can do it.
Share the load.
But, Mom can only do so much, but she pretty much takes care of Dad.
Yeah. She does a really good job.
She does great. And then, Rick goes over there and hangs out, and
Yeah.
she takes care of him to a point, but she can't go and pick him up from school anymore like she
Right.
used to. So things start changing. And when you see things start changing and you see these little things, and you realize life is short.
So short.
And that's what, my one brother told me. He's like, life is short. These people are family, blah, blah, blah. I said, exactly. Life is short. I don't have to put up with your bullshit.
No.
Go away. I can love you from afar.
I can love you from afar.
But
And I don't have to
think
agree.
you're getting that wonderful, warm piece of my heart. Like I said, you have that cold, black, dead spot in my heart that you going to have to work to get the hell out of that.
And I feel like I feel numb to people. And I think that's it's like an indifference.
You're desensitized.
Very.
After so much of it, you're
Very.
like, this is the same crap I've been hearing for years.
And I've had to tell myself, so I used to hear people say, well, that's how they are. That's how they are. So now I've changed the narrative to, I take it out of that tone. And instead I say, Danielle, you know how they are. Why are you letting it phase you? Why are you letting it give any of your energy?
And also, it's not in who they are, because we all have issues that we need to work on. But it's who they are that they refuse to acknowledge.
To acknowledge.
It's an acknowledgement and an accountability. They don't want to make themselves accountable, and then if someone else tries to make them accountable,
It's an attack.
oh God, it's an attack. And so I'm just at the point where I just feel like we need to hold people accountable.
We do.
And I think that's a big part of our problem with our society is we haven't held people accountable. Do you know how many issues have been swept under the rug with families,
Oh, yeah.
causing childhood trauma, which causes just a ripple effect and the cycle that people like us are like, we see that, we need to end that.
Cycle breaker.
But once you see it, then you're like, well, how do I end it? And so it's not like, oh, I see it, it's done. girl, it's going to be like for the rest of your life, you're going to have to figure out.
To unlearn behavior.
It's easy to slip back in sometimes.
To unlearn behavior. So, you see it, you acknowledge it, you see where you're at in the cycle, and then you're like, okay. And therapy really helped me with this. Therapy really helped me to discover where I was at in this really dark, lonely place was actually the beginning of the cycle breaker. And when you do that, it is so lonely because you are going against the grain of everything that you've ever been shown, taught, understood to know is truth. You are going against the grain, and you're not doing it from an angry place. When I chose to become a cycle breaker, I looked at my daughter and said, you will never know a home that is scary. You will never fear laying your head down at night. And that took work. It took work because so many times I wanted to fall back in to what I knew. Not that it's an excuse. I chose my own choices in life. I made my own choices. I've never blamed that on anybody else. But I was going with the grain.
Not to say that you're not taking responsibility. Because, just to say, oh, well, I fell back into that. That's not you not taking responsibility. That's you admitting, I'm a human and that's hard.
And when it gets hard like that, it's so easy to go back.
Well, yeah, you want to go the path of least resistance. Just like water.
Yep.
Go the path of least resistance. And when life is really hard and things are getting down, you're like, let me just do this easy thing. God, let me just get through this. And then you get in it and you're like, oh God, I should have done that.
Well, and the saying goes, I'm more comfortable with the devil I know than the devil I don't. When you are walking a path that you have never walked and it looks very scary and lonely, it's easier to go back to the scary stuff that you know, even though it's scary, but you know it. I already know what's there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've heard that many times, right? We've all heard that. But that hit me differently just now.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like I'm bringing it. And one of my friends, we were talking about life is a cycle. Life has cycles. And you can take on a molecular level is the same cycle as on a larger level, like in life, and you can scale it, right? And so when you're thinking of your personal life, your own personal individual life, and you're like, I fall back onto what's comfortable. I don't want to go down this scary path. And then you think of our country, and we've continued to fall back into these comfortable places. Yeah. And they've made us comfortable. We have these beautiful homes and these comfortable, we got air conditioning and central air, and, we have people to mow our grass and, all of that. And we've made ourselves comfortable, and it's going to be very hard to be uncomfortable for a while.
We don't like uncomfortability.
In order to get out of this toxic relationship that we have with the government.
And, I've always said, this is how I feel on a personal level, and I also use it towards the government. These are my personal view. I used to say to people, I'll never depend on a man in a personal relationship to feed me, because I also give him the power to starve me.
Exactly.
And that whether that be affection, love, validation, financially feeding me actual food.
You can even do that as terms of a job. Don't have just one source of income. You need to have variable sources of income, because what if one job?
Yeah.
Me and Tom were at a place when we worked at that production company, and I loved that job and I love those people. But there was a time when I was like, oh my God, if something happens, me and Tom are both getting paid from the same, and that's it. Yeah. And so I was like, I got to diversify. Yeah. And so, you got to figure out whether it's $10 here and $20 there and $100 here. You got to figure out ways of bringing in some more income, because don't put your eggs in one basket, right?
Don't do it. And
take care of yourself.
It is all such a cycle, and I remind myself too, nothing in this world under the sun has not been done. Everything has been done. It's just what we've seen, or what we've been exposed to, or what we even know, So I do try to tell myself, I really push every day. I wake up happy. That's my because I'm in peace. I wake up happy.
Well, you got to find what is something to wake up happy about,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Whether it's I woke up, I'm alive, I'm in a peaceful home, me and my daughter are safe.
Yep.
I woke up and I'm not addicted to drugs today.
You know,
I woke up and I'm
yep.
not sick today.
Yep.
I woke up and my daddy's still alive today.
Yep.
I woke up and my family is here today.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
gotta wake up and try to find something to look forward to and be happy about.
And, you know, going back on the devil, you know, my heart is really for people in the addiction community. Not even just recovering addicts, but people that are fighting to try to get there.
Those are the ones that you should have the most compassion for.
It's so hard. I have really great resources, and I have a God sent, an angel, that she has helped me get so many people to sober living, to detox. But you would not believe how many times my heart's been broke.
Oh, I'm
Because
sure.
down to the point of picking this person up, and they've backed out.
I wouldn't take it personal.
She had to really coach me.
Don't take it personal. They're
Because
fighting themselves.
they-
It's not you. You're just the person that's trying to take them into rehab, right? You're the person that's trying to take that one thing away from them that's their comfort.
And it's the devil they know.
It's the devil they know.
That's it.
That's the easy way.
And I've said before.
But it's not easy. You got to pick
not.
your hard, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole thing of pick your hard. I had an opiate addiction, and I understand that thought of I went to rehab, right?
Yeah.
I know what it feels like to be going there and going, oh my God,
How
you know,
did I get here?
how did I get here, and how am I going to go on? I don't know anything else. I don't understand I rewired my brain. And so you have to completely rewire your brain to be able to function without that drug. Now, people say, oh, you just like Suboxone or methadone. No, I was on methadone, and methadone is some bad shit.
Yeah.
I'll say it's one of the worst things I ever detoxed from. Like 6 months to a year, I was still feeling bad, right? So it's scary when you know the physical feeling that you're going to feel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's got to be.
So imagine you're going into cancer treatment. You know you're going into chemo, and you know they're giving you this medication that's going to make you sick.
I was going to ask you, when you went through chemo, did you ever have any fear that you were going to relapse?
Oh, no.
You didn't?
No. At that point, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I don't crave it. I don't even crave cigarettes.
Yeah.
I quit smoking cigarettes, so I don't crave nicotine. I did have a drinking problem a few years after I got off the methadone. And now, well, with the medication I take, a year ago, I drank 2 beers with my niece, and I was sick for 2 days. And so I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah.
So the only thing that really is a drug, but I have a medical marijuana,
Right.
medical cannabis. Don't
And
say marijuana.
Right. It grows in the dirt.
But I have a medical cannabis prescription because it's great for my nausea. It helped me all through chemo. After my very first chemo treatment, it wasn't the chemo itself, it's the medication they give you to boost your white blood cells. And it was I don't know what your friend had, but it was like a little patch, and it would dose me 24 hours after my chemo treatment.
Oh, wow.
And it was like one of them it was like a block, and they stuck it somewhere on your arm, and it was there for 24 hours, and then you could hear it click, click,
Oh, wow.
click, and then it's like dosing you with this stuff, and then after it's done, it takes like 45 minutes, and then you take it off. So my chemo treatment was on Tuesday. That would go off on Wednesday, and on Friday was when it was like the worst day.
Yeah.
Right. And then by Monday, my bones, because it builds your white blood cells up, which is in your bones. And so your bones are hurting inside your whole body. And my very first time I did it, and they said the first time you take that dose is the worst. I remember laying on the ground going, oh my God. I mean, I would snort an oxy right now. I swear to God, I would.
Right.
Not to say that I would do it after that, but you were in so much pain. But when I went there, I was like, look, this is really painful, you know? And they said, well, you need to try alternating Tylenol and ibuprofen every 4 hours. And so that's what I did. And that helped out a lot.
Yeah.
Plus, I didn't want the opiates anyway because that stops you up.
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
Yeah. It's a whole nother set of issues going on.
Yeah. So, I didn't want it.
Yeah.
And it didn't scare me. And I did get, it starts with a T.
Tramadol.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible that I'm so quick with this, but it's the life.
Look, you know.
You know.
I'm just not, my brain, I have the brain fog because I still take the medication, right? And I don't have any estrogen. And so I have the brain fog and my brain can't remember, I can't bring a word. Like I know what I want to say and I know the word. Like I want to say table and I can't think of table. And I'm like, you know, the thing where you put the chairs around and we sit and we talk and we eat with it. We eat on it. And you're like, a table? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I give you like a million words to describe one. But the 2 surgeries, I had tramadol and then my hysterectomy, which was the worst surgery. They gave me oxycodone.
Was that after chemo?
Yeah, that was after all treatments.
Okay.
Because where it was hormone driven, it was they wanted to give me something to block my hormones, right? And I had all my ovaries, uterus, and all that. Well, that medication will give you uterine cancer, which is what Mama died of.
It's already in our family.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I don't really need any of that anymore, so get rid of it. And so that way I take a different medication and it won't give me uterine cancer because I don't have a uterus.
So did they take everything out?
All of it.
They didn't fight you?
No.
I've heard of doctors fighting women.
Well, they asked me, they were like, do you want any more kids? I said, no.
Take this stuff out
I'm
of
40 some years old and I just had cancer treatment. Do you think I want to try to get pregnant right now?
Right.
Stop asking me that. Every time I went to the doctor to like my follow-ups and stuff, like, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, yes, I'm sure. And don't you dare ask my husband.
Girl. Yeah.
And they're like, are you good? And he's like, whatever she wants.
I asked them, I had a very traumatic labor with Remy. Traumatic. They just let me lay there too long. And she was not ready to come. It was a week over. She was a week late. So they induced me at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday evening. She finally made her entrance on Friday morning at 9:15. Yep, her grand entrance. But I had to have 2 epidurals.
Fashionably late?
Fashionably late. 2 epidurals because one wore off.
I had to have 2 as well. And it was really hard for me to push him out. And he ended up with a bruise on his head.
Yeah. Well, they took her out. She laid in the cavity too long. So they had actually come and told us, hey, you got 15 minutes, and we're taking you down for a C-section. So my mom goes downstairs. So I'm going to get a cup of coffee. And here's the crazy thing. For weeks prior to having her, I kept having dreams. You know, and it's whatever. But I kept saying, you know, something's going to happen to me. Something's going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And so they had come in, and before they gave me the second epidural, because I refused. I was like, what if it hurts my baby? Like, they're not always safe, you know, like, this is the second one. And it was a horrible experience. I had a wonderful pregnancy, horrible labor. And so I said, I was praying, and I look over, and it's pitch black dark in the room. They had all the lights off. And the 2 nurses at the door were bawling and crying because I was praying out to God, if it's between me and her, save her. And I had already told Jason, do not, if they come to you, you save this baby.
Save her, not me.
Save her. And he's sobbing. And, you know, he's all beside himself. And he's like, why would you say that? I'm like, you saved my baby. And so
you want to make your wishes known.
That was it. And they come, and they checked me. And it was 8:45. They said, you got 15 minutes. We're taking you down. 9:01 on the dot, they come and check me. They're like, oh, they start breaking the bed down. I'm like, somebody go get my mom. So Mama runs to the hospital, goes and gets my mom from the cafeteria. She like slings her coffee. I push her 3 times. She comes out. They lay her on me. She's not breathing. She's not crying. She's purple. So the doctor, and they have you high up, and the doctor had these like goggles on, right? Love her. She was wonderful. But she says whatever in whatever term, doctor term. And she said, so the nurse is coming over. I see the nurse, and I'm screaming, why is my baby not crying? And she's purple. And the nurse comes and jerks her. And the doctor says she's attached. And the cord, it looked like a slasher movie. Blood went all over the doctor's goggles, all over my chest, like, because I'm sitting up, all over everything. They had broken her umbilical cord. Luckily, it did not break from me. I would have bled out before they could have stopped it. And it didn't break from her. It would have killed her instantly. So they're over there working on her. Amber goes, follows the baby. They push her away. They shut the curtain. So I'm screaming at Jason. I'm like, get to our baby right now. It took them a while to get all the fluid out of her, and she was healthy and fine. They had nicked the roof of her mouth, so bless her heart, the first 2 days I breastfed, every time she swallowed, it came out of her nose. So it was pitiful. It was so pitiful. But that day, I said, while I'm here, go ahead and tie my tubes. We had planned to have another one when she was about 1.5 years old. And I was like, Tom, they would not in the state of North Carolina. I don't know if it's a federal thing, but North Carolina said you have to be 30 or you have to have 4 children already. I was 27. I turned 28 3 days later. And your husband has to sign. He was like, I'll sign right now. And they were like, no, you have to be 30 at least.
It's not what you want anymore. It's,
I was like, dude, I almost died just now. Like, at this point, just take everything out. Like, get it out of here. So that's when I knew, like, she's going to be the only, that's just going to be her. And I don't regret it. She's pretty great. She's pretty great.
She's pretty great.
And she has a very detailed story of how she was very dramatic coming into the world. And she's here. And, strong from day one. And everybody's got to have a story.
Tom was 3 months premature, and he had a 99% chance of death the first night.
Oh, my.
They said you could see through his skin. He was so small. He was so underdeveloped, and look at him now. He had no lungs, and listen to him now.
Strong guy. Now he's on all these podcasts.
I know.
Look at him using his voice and whatnot.
I told him, I said, you're here for a reason, man.
For sure.
Gotta be here for a reason.
Love him.
And he also battled his own addiction problems and stuff, and we'll cut that out because he don't.
Right.
He works for the school. Whatever. Cut
it.
But we do.
Do we gotta go?
It's 12:54. It takes about 15 minutes to get to
Old Sterling.
We're gonna go to Sterling Drive-In and meet old Mama Wanda.
I'm so excited.
I was Wanda's flower girl at her wedding.
You were her favorite.
To my first cousin, which is your daddy.
Mm-hmm.
But Wanda's.
She's in the family forever. She's been in the family since she was 13.
Since I can remember. Wanda's been around. She's like my cousin, and I love her more than some of my blood. Right. So.
Yeah, Mama has all these pictures at the house, like hanging on the wall, like the church pictures, like the, professional. And I'm like, wow, my mom has been a Martin before that was even a thing. Like,
your dad was a baby. They were babies when they got together.
They were. And, even though they're divorced and all this now, there were really great times growing up.
Sure.
That I've seen how to be loved and them to be loving to each other. And I think, really, me and Amber got the best parts of them.
I think you did.
Yeah.
I love you guys so much. I love you so much. Tell Amber,
get down here.
Could you?
Get up here. This is up here.
Okay, get up here.
Do it. You're just singing. I don't know what you're singing.
Amber.
Oh. The color of your energy. No, that's not it.
Ruby's like, oh, please, Mom, God.
She tells me I'm cringe. I'm like, bro, something came on in the aisle at the grocery store, and I started dancing. And she's like, why would you do this to me?
You're about to
hide underneath the car.
I'm like, bro, I'm the coolest person you'll ever know.
How old you say she is?
10. It's really ridiculous.
I don't believe you.
I know. I'm like, what has happened? 10? You're going on 20. Like, but I talk to her like she has sense too. Like, I don't
She
do
does
the
have
baby
sense.
talking.
She talks like a
an
a
adult.
woman.
And like, I don't tell her too much, but I'm just real with her.
She's what's the word I'm thinking of? See, this is mature.
She is.
She's mature.
She's mature. My whole life I was told, you're an old soul. I'm like, now that I'm older, I'm like, I was just around old people.
I think I'm an old soul. You're an old soul.
I am an old soul. But
We were around old people.
when you're
though.
around old people, like, you're just, I love butterscotch candy.
Give me a Werther's.
Give me the butterscotch pudding, actually, and a fruit cup, retirement home style. I love it. Give me a Charleston chew right now. give me a Charleston chew. I love them.
Shit, we gotta go.
This was fun. We'll be
my God.
back. We'll be back.
Yeah.
July 25th, I'll be back.
July 27th. Well, the 27th is the day of.
That's the big thing.
Even earlier, maybe.
Remy's trying to come back next week.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Next week. Let's go.
She's.
I'm going to leave you here.
I mean, you can stay here, girl.
She don't know what to do without her mommy.
Yeah.
Give it another
I'll
year.
be putting her to work too.
Give it another year. She'll want to
And
stay
like, come here,
here.
girl. We need to go dig this ditch.
She would.
Come on, let's go. Let's go carry these rocks.
Now, Harley's the one you want.
Oh,
She'll bring
she's
the
a
rain
workhorse,
boots.
ain't she?
And she is like, she loves outside. She would love it. I'm going to have to bring her. She would
Please
love it
bring
here.
her here because
We would have to beat her to get her in the house.
Well,
She
that's fine.
loves outside.
That's fine. They
She
used to try
loves
to
it.
beat me to get me in the house too.
Yeah,
Really?
she doesn't get outside much.
Oh,
But we live in an apartment complex, so
Yeah.
it's we only have a patch of grass.
y'all the bougie ones.
Yeah, baby. I don't know.
Well,
It's a
Amber's
little
got
ghetto.
her a
It's
mountain
ge-
man.
And they have chickens. They have
Right.
ducks. They have, and me and Remy are walking, and I'm like, "Ooh, get away, get away."
It's funny.
Ducks chase you. I'm like, "Ooh, I'm scared." Chickens chase you. I'm
Y'all
like,
just
why?
gonna have to go there and just get used to them.
I
Yeah,
like ducks. I pick up the duck. I don't go in the coop.
We
though.
used to have ducks out here.
yeah. I mean, they're pretty to look at, but I'm just good with my little dog. I'm just,
Yeah.
just basic. Just little puppy. This was fun.
It was. It
Okay.
was. So we gotta go, and I love y'all so much.
Love you so much. Mwah.
Appalachian Living is sponsored in part by Wade Law Firm PLLC, Sage Stitch Finance Corporation, representing wisdom and mending what we already have, providing gap funds for resilient renovations.
Appalachian Living is also brought to you by Hope Money Coaching, rescuing you from financial chaos and leading you to a path of financial wellness. Minimalist Gym, helping men and women navigate their health and fitness without restrictive fad diets.